Hey guys, what's up? It's AB Trades, and today we're going to talk about the stocks to watch for tomorrow being Friday. It's the end of the week. I know we, as traders, we hate Fridays and we love Mondays. It's very contrary to what most people do. However, let's talk about the stocks for Friday. So we've had a lot of earnings coming out this whole week, and we're looking forward to Google earnings next week. However, the earnings that are reporting this at the end of the day and tomorrow are as follows. We're looking at Amazon, we're looking at Aflac, Symantec, ExxonMobil, and Chevron. We're looking at those because they have decent options volume, and their earnings is also reporting soon. So as always, we start with the S&P 500 market, and if you have not been here before, I am AB Trades, and I teach people how to day trade options on YouTube. I have a free Discord chat linked below where we can discuss stocks throughout the day and throughout market open. I also have a course, not going to promote that too much after Friday, because Friday is when the discount code ends for that, and you can get in on that. But anyways, moving on to the S&P 500. So as you can see here, we have a super strong resistance at $280 that we're starting to push up into. So I don't see any overhead resistance until 271.50. If we can get to this 271.50, which we are right here already, we can break above and start testing this 280 zone. 280 will be super strong. This is going to be a super strong level. If we can look here, we dropped below that and we tested it 3 times, forming indecision candles on the 280 every single time. So our first check on SPY is going to be above 271.50. And then 280 will be our final check for resistances. As for support, we have room at 263 and 265. We'll have to watch out for that. So if we zoom in into a closer look on SPY, we're looking at the 15-minute chart. We started consolidating into this triangle like we discussed all the way back here into Sunday, Friday even. But now the Fed news report got us through this triangle, and now we're starting to see the continuation to this upside. We saw that dip to confirm that upside movement today, and then we started ripping to the upside. So again, we still have plenty of upside potential up to 280. We'll definitely be watching that on SPY, but SPY is in an upward trend. We were range bound here, but we are now upward trending, at least in the 15-minute chart. So we're definitely going to be trading calls, majority on SPY, until we hit that 280 zone. Then we'll take an adjustment. But I'm going to scroll through the chat here and see exactly what people requested and want to hear from. So it looks like a few of the first stocks. Actually, I want to cover earnings first. So if we look at Amazon here, it is down a lot. We are down here near the 1600 support. It won't surprise me if we come down and test this as support. It has been a strong support throughout this whole life of Amazon. It's just a whole number support, and it's strong. And if you can see here, we're starting the bounce. This is almost like a range bound ish with higher highs. So it looks like we're pulling back down to this region and then pushing higher, but we don't have the higher lows that follow it. So it won't surprise me if Amazon gets down to 1600 before some value investors or value buyers, investors long term, scoop up some shares of Amazon and send it back up to 1800. Again, Amazon is a quality stock, so if it starts to fall too much, we're going to have a ton of buyers start to step up and buy Amazon, because it's nothing huge that's making Amazon come down. So just make sure you watch that. Really, we have to watch XOM, which is going to be our ExxonMobil, as it reports tomorrow. But nothing much necessarily. We've been trading range bound on it, especially if we go into the daily time frame on XOM. We're starting to finally get above and make new highs, just like the S&P 500. So now that we do that, we still have a downtrend that we're seeing in ExxonMobil, but we can see a push up into where we have support at this zone and we have resistance at this zone. So we can see crucial indecision from bears right here as we push up into this level. It won't surprise us if we see a push up on earnings into this and then a fall and a fail down off that. Now let's get to the stocks that people requested, starting off with Microsoft. So we've been discussing Microsoft as it had what is known as a, let's see, where is it? No, it wasn't that. So earnings yesterday left it quite a drop here. Now we're starting to actually show some momentum to the upside, saying that people were like, you know what, Microsoft should not be that low at 102, which is why we can totally see this at 102. Because if you look past support, 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 resistance, resistance, support, 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 support. So it doesn't surprise us that we see 102 bouncing here. But we are still in this little semi-downtrend here. So if we start to push up into 106 and start getting rejected, we have room all the way back down to 102. So again, watch that on Microsoft. I also requested Square. And it looks like, we've been pushing great. Square has been giving some great quality trades the past few days, especially off this play here. And I think we had, this was the play from Monday, on Tuesday. But Square's just been giving off some great room. We are starting to hold this trend up, as well as we're starting to break above and make new highs. We do have this gap here that needs to fill. Gap here on Square, and this gap right here that needs to be filled on Square eventually. So if we can still see this push up, if we get into this region, we know we're going to be bullish and breaking up above 75. Maybe pull back to 75 and even test the 78 zone while bouncing off this. But we'll see that hold with the whole market. If y'all are hearing this air pressure thing coming from the computer, it's because it seems like the computer's working a bit extra hard tonight. I don't know why, but we're still going to go along with the video. So T-Mobile, nothing much. I don't trade this, so let's look at the trade tab real quick. It looks like we have some options, very illiquid, not going to trade that at all. We also have someone mentioning VC. Let's see what that is. Verizon, let's just make sure our options are there. It looks like we're having a 2-cent spread, a 4-cent spread, 4-cent spread. I guess that's decent. I guess I can talk about it. So Verizon here, we're starting to find this bounce off 53. It looks like our next resistance here is on this downtrend up to 57. So expect Verizon to get up to 57 following what is known as a 10% continuation play here to the upside on VC. So we also have someone mentioning T. No idea what T is, so we're going to have to check the options table for that. This is AT&T, so I would expect some options volume. Yes, here we go. The spread is 10-cent spread. Again, I don't really want to talk about this for the spread, but it looks like we're starting to push up into this resistance. Just watch out for that. Someone else mentioned Apple, now Facebook. So these are our classic stocks we look at when trading options. We're just having a pullback here, back down to support. We still have room up to the upside. So it looks like we're just trying to reclaim some territory, make sure we're testing those supports before we push up higher. Let's look at Facebook as well. Facebook's been running since earnings. We're also having that pullback here, but we're still holding the support, which is good. That means there's still room to the upside. If we can hold these supports here at 166 and 164, we are still going to push up on Facebook and Apple for sure, especially with SPY starting to be in an uptrend. What else we got? We got Now, never heard of that. I'm going to assume that's because of earnings here. Let's look at the trade tab. I don't see much. Let's see. That spread is way too big. Not even going to try to discuss that stock right there. I hope you'll understand why. We're trying to save time here, and that is not something you should be trading with options. If we look here on GE, we had this huge push up, and even on the 1 day, 1 minute, we had this nice formation of a candle, of a triangle push up, and then we had the volume confirm. Nice huge moves on GE today, and then we just had that sold off, almost like a pump and dump, but it's more of like a pump and fade. Again, like I said, I've never been too bullish on GE until recently, and now that we have these earnings, if we can hold this $10 level, even this $9.80 level, and we start pushing up with the market, I'm going to have a whole new perspective on GE. However, fundamentally wise, for a while now, GE has sucked, so we've been playing puts on it, but now we've been starting to trend up to the upside. I'm starting to change my bias on it, more of an upturn, and an uptrend coming back up to test highs of $11.50 and $11. Let's see, what else have we got here? Disney, SPY, I already covered SPY as always. Disney, looks like we're starting to push it above here, which is what I said. If we start to push above, we're going to find resistance in this zone here at around 113. So we have resistance coming up at 113, and just watch out for that. If you can see here, we had a nice little consolidation along this downtrend that we drew on yesterday, I assume, or whenever the last time we mentioned it, and definitely respected that well. We started to see this push to the upside. Someone also mentioned C. I don't know how they would have mentioned C. No one mentioned Citigroup except for the options group, the premium group chat. We were alerted to Citigroup or C later near market close because of dark pool orders. Not going to go into any more explanation. I'm going to say that just for the premium group chat. But we were alerted around here to this dark pool order that filled. So we just took some small swing trades on C, and then we saw this huge rip up just for overnight, just to test the waters here on this dark pool order. Again, we're only buying one contract, just playing it to see, not a trade that I alerted, just a trade for fun, if you know what I mean. Just putting in some money to play to see what's going to happen with C after that dark pool order printed. So we also have Cron. Cron is a hot stock at the moment. I believe it's one of those weed stocks. I don't really know, guys. So make fun of me if that's not what it is. I really don't know, nor do I care. I just know it's moving. Let's look at the trade tab because I haven't traded this. It looks like the spread is semi-decent, around a 3 cent, 4 cent spread. I guess I can talk about it. If we look at it on a 15-minute, we can get a more view of what's happening here. So we've definitely been ripping to the upside from around 2 weeks ago. It looks like on Monday we've just been ripping from around $10 up to around $20, which has been double the price of Cron. It looks like we've been holding this trend line here. This trend line, it's diverged far from this trend line. We started to make a new trend line here, which is holding. But after we start to break down this trend line, we're going to see a retest of this trend line here. So just make sure you're paying attention to your trends and you're paying attention to your support and resistance. We have a support and resistance here, as you can see, to the upside. We may see some upside potential here from the big run. Now we have some consolidation pre-market running up to $21. Again, when you're making new highs, I don't know how high this has been in the past, but you want to watch your whole number level. So this has not been this high, or at least in the nearest past. So you're going to want to watch 21 as your next resistance point. All right, guys, I think that's all we're going to cover tonight. Netflix, Tesla, again, that's going to be the same. Actually, let's just mention a few more just so I can get it covered. AMD. We've been seeing a run on AMD. This is where a lot of the premium members took some trades and did well on today. It was great to see that running. But now we're starting to push into this $25, $26 resistance level here. It won't surprise if we see a pullback into 24 before we continue running. Since earnings, the running has been nonstop, and just like a human. When you run a race and you sprint, you need to take a break before you can sprint again. So this has been our sprint up on AMD. Now we need to see this runner take a bit of a jog, take a bit of a break before we see the run up to continue. So consolidation around 24, 23, 43. Hold those levels. We can still see some more upside potential on AMD. Someone also mentioned AMU. Looks like we're starting to consolidate long term here, just like we did on SPY. Same thing with SPY as it ripped out. So we're going to be watching for it to get squeezed into this $38 range and then push up to the upside following this uptrend here. So just watch that on MU on the 15-minute. Netflix and Tesla, nothing much from Netflix. We're just starting to curl and we're respecting these trend lines. Just make sure you understand you have your support and resistances and play off those on both Netflix and Tesla because they respect support and resistances so much. If you can see here, this is Tesla. Beautiful loading page. And with that, guys, my throat cannot handle it much longer. So we're going to call it quits. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.